We're in the middle of a deadly global loneliness epidemic. There are massive health risks of loneliness, yet hardly anyone is aware of them. Plus, not many people realise that their attachment style impacts their loneliness. In order to tackle loneliness, we need to talk about the real reasons behind it. So how much do people really know about their own loneliness? We interviewed a range of people about their experience of loneliness and helped them discover their attachment style so they can understand themselves and how they form relationships.
Usually I start the day with a meditation, do breath work, just to get me in the right type of vibe. I like to paint a lot, maybe make music in my room, not on a serious scale, but just for myself.
My usual schedule would be take the children to school, then I will have to take care of my 2-year-old and my 9-month-old. So then we'll go to the park, usually just attend to them.
I feel like there is a lot of diversity in what I do in terms of my work schedule and also the hours that I work. But it's therefore very important to me that I keep on the balance of what I do for work and what I do personally in my spare time, and making sure that I have enough time to rest and recuperate, meet my friends and kind of socialize as well.
I like to wake up and get in 20 minutes of yoga. If I can do more, I do more, but that sets me up for the day. And then on a work day, I'll be on the train going into the office.
You're probably lonely, but not for the reasons you think.
In the past, being alone, not being secured in myself and not having the right direction, being in fearful states would affect me a lot, and just not knowing where I stand in this world. It's a bit strange because now it's a thing of the past in a way, because I wouldn't say I feel as lonely anymore, but I'd say finding my way through God has helped me a lot.
I would say I've kind of experienced loneliness since the age of around 13, when my twin sister got diagnosed with an eating disorder. So I had been very used to having someone by my side 24/7. And then when my sister got ill, it was the first time I'd experienced loneliness, because I'd always had someone by my side. I think loneliness manifests when I feel not only physically disconnected from somebody, but emotionally too.
I feel most lonely when I'm surrounded by people whom we don't speak the same language at all. I feel very strongly about certain topics, and I find it quite difficult to form relationships or feel heard or feel validated by people who completely do not understand what I'm rabbiting on about. And similarly, because of my kind of cultural background, I don't do small talk. So I have to recognize that there is however a limit to how much I can be exposed to people and how much I can be lonely.
I think loneliness manifests a lot more when I'm pregnant or when I've just had a baby. It's more of my body is not my body anymore. It belongs to the baby and what the baby needs. Even though my friends are very supportive, it does still feel very lonely, because it's I can't do what you do, I can't go certain places, because I just put a happy face on, everything's fine, but nothing was really fine. When you're a mum, it tends to be more lonely as well, because society tells you can't really complain about being a mum because this is what you signed up for.
Sofia Likhacheva, a psychotherapist based in London, explains how early childhood attachment to a caregiver can affect later attachments in relationships.
Nowadays, a lot of young people experience emotional loneliness. Modern lifestyle, and particularly in big cities, can be very isolating. Many people work in front of the computers, not interacting with their colleagues much, We don't know our neighbors, we don't tend to talk a lot to people in the gym or in a restaurant. It can be isolating. First of all, social media gives us an illusion of a connection. We have a feeling that we see what our friends are up to, what are they doing, but we're not really interacting with them. A lot of young people look at Instagram and see those couples feeling like this is what they should aim for and not actually looking for something real. And this culture fosters superficial connections. There is no depth in it.
I notice I feel lonely if I've been around too many kind of surface level, superficial conversations. So I will often kind of voice note my best friend, who also loves the deep chat, or my sister, or talk to my boyfriend.
I find that, addressing the problem is how you would solve it. So instead of running away from the loneliness, it's about you basking in it and just accepting it for what it is. Yeah, I would say meditation has helped me a lot, and just enjoying my own company, my own energy.
I think prevention is always better than cure. I feel that loneliness for my generation is different than the loneliness for a generation of the young persons that I work with. I feel like a lot of the kind of the modern loneliness kind of originates from unrealistic expectations that social media kind of put in people's minds, because it is not about the number of friends, it's about the quality of friends.
I used to self-isolate a lot, especially because you don't want to burden people with your stuff when they might be going through things. Until one day I'm just like, no, people show up for you. Just ask for the help. Be like, listen, this is how I feel very lonely. And who I've actually told have shown up for me. So that's how I've coped.
Attachment theory was introduced by John Bowlby, a British psychiatrist and psychoanalyst in 1960s, 1970s. Attachment theory is based on the evidence that the quality of our early relationships with the primary caregivers affects the way we relate and connect to others. There are four main types of attachment. There is secure attachment, where individuals are usually comfortable with intimacy, but they are not only comfortable with closeness, they are also comfortable with separateness, and usually these individuals tend to form healthy, long-lasting relationships. And then there is anxious attachment. People fear abandonment, rejection. They can be intense in their relationships. They're constantly looking for a confirmation of love. They can be needy at times, and I want to be mindful with the word needy, because people tend to be only as needy as their unmet needs go. The third type is avoidant type. They usually fear intimacy. They tend to break up their relationships as soon as the relationships become serious, become more profound. These people can be distant, they can be isolated, they can also be perceived as cold. They're usually fearful of getting really close to somebody. And finally, there is a disorganized type. It's a mix between anxious attachment and avoidant attachment. Those people usually experienced some difficulties in their childhood. They might have received mixed signals from their caregivers, from their parents, and in their relationships they can both be fearful of rejection and at the same time avoid a profound connection.
It wasn't much of a surprise, and not that I've always been secured. I think we all go through our journeys of finding our way and being secure within ourselves. I was very much, all the other types before, avoidant and anxious and everything. But through life and the lessons that, I've learned along the ways, it's helped form me to the way I am today.
My reaction at first was a bit surprised. I knew I had an insecure attachment style. I thought I was anxiously attached. I feel like my anxiety towards my twin sister getting ill has manifested into my relationships as kind of anxiety. But disorganised didn't surprise me when I looked into it, because I think it makes sense as to why I have some complex issues in relationships and stuff.
It doesn't surprise me at all. I think I knew this for ages. If you think about kind of the dismissive, kind of avoidant style, there is something about that style that is kind of not being focused on your own needs, but it's avoidant only on like one level. Like I don't like depending on people.
I've taken the test before a long time ago, the attachment style, and it was anxiety based. So when I saw the secure, it's like, okay, I've dealt with certain things, which I have for like the last couple of months. It's more of like just accepting people for who they are and accepting if they go, it's okay, it's nothing to do. It's not always personal. It's not always that it's you've done something wrong. Sometimes they just don't want to be in your life, and that's okay.
Person's attachment style and personality are different things. However, attachment style defines the ways people act and behave in their relationships. Therefore, it affects the ways individuals are perceived in relationships. So, personality traits with the time can be exacerbated by a particular attachment style. Not the attachment style itself, but the experiences of the relationships. Attachment style can be linked to loneliness in a few ways. First of all, attachment style affects at times the quality of the relationships, or it can cause the lack of relationships as well. The way we attach to others can define the quality of the relationships, and it can provide an experience of connecting, of being with somebody, and at the same time it can give us a negative experience of being all alone. It's important to note that loneliness is not about being alone. Solitude can be comfortable for people. Loneliness is about the lack of meaningful, profound connections, and people in a relationship can feel equally as lonely as single people. What is important to know is that attachment style can change, and having issues with attachment is nobody's fault. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with the person. It's possible to overcome difficulties, and it's possible to build something beautiful despite the issues that a person might be going through.
Watch a rom-com. I love a good rom-com. Probably, although I should seek out social connection, I don't, because I think actually when you're feeling really lonely sometimes, although it seems counterintuitive, you don't actually feel like being around people, which sounds bizarre. But yeah, I'll actually try and spend some time alone, because actually I think loneliness is a lot of the time more about you than it is about actually spending time with people.
So I have to make sure that I have time around my schedule for things that are important to me, but also having time to exercise. I feel like that's very important to me as well. So I have like a routine that I go through, trying to make sure that I attend classes that I do like, because I do need to attend classes. I'm not a very good person to be doing this just by myself, so I need to have people around me who are doing the same thing.
I love watching movies, like feel-good movies, like chick flicks that make me laugh. Gym has really helped me a lot, because it just makes me feel like I'm doing something for myself, that it's like, oh, it's an accomplishment when I get to the gym. It's an accomplishment of, oh yeah, this is what I did today, instead of, oh, I just took care of children all day. I didn't do nothing for myself. Even washing my hair and putting on makeup makes me feel good, because I've done something for me.
What I do to relax would be to be alone and take time for myself and really reconnect with myself and my surroundings, God. Just enjoy the now, because that's all we ever have just right now.
Knowledge is power. Usually awareness can help people make a positive change in life. The things that are on the unconscious level are not reachable, therefore we can't do anything about it. Whenever something comes to the awareness level, we can adjust, we can change. I think it's very powerful and helpful for people to know about their relational patterns, to know about their difficulties, because without this knowledge, it's not possible to make a change if a change is desired. Loneliness is something that can make life very miserable. There is plenty of evidence that loneliness can cause issues both with mental health and with physical health. Loneliness is about not being able to properly connect to somebody. Superficial connections are not fulfilling. Therefore, a person can feel lonely in a relationship, and probably everybody experienced a sense of loneliness among other people, in a group of people. So it is not about how many people are next to you, it is about how you feel inside, within yourself. And the only way to battle loneliness is to be able to connect and properly relate to others.
Loneliness is a complex issue, but there are many ways to combat it. Solutions include joining a club, so you can meet people who share your interests, and take the pressure off socializing by focusing on a fun activity. You can also do cognitive behavioral therapy or social skills training to change your mindset and feel more confident about building relationships. No matter what you do, always remember that there is a way forward, and we can end this loneliness epidemic together.